He cheated on me while I was carrying his child. But when I walked into that crowded room and made him get on his knees in front of everyone, he realized he had lost the best thing that ever happened to him. This isn't just about heartbreak. This is about strength, dignity, and the sweetest revenge you'll ever hear. My name is Alina Parker, and at 29, I thought I was living a dream life. I was a nurse in Chicago, passionate about my job and madly in love with my husband, David, who was 32 and worked as a corporate lawyer. We met at a charity gala 5 years ago. He was charming, confident, the kind of man who could make an entire room turn their heads. For me, he only had eyes. At least, that's what I thought. When we got married 2 years later, it felt like a fairy tale. He called me his queen, told me every day that he'd protect me and our future family. So when I found out I was pregnant, his reaction? Tears of joy. He hugged me so tightly and said, "You've given me the greatest gift in the world." At that moment, I believed we had it all. A strong marriage, a baby on the way, a future filled with love. But fairy tales don't last forever, especially when the prince is a liar. The first signs were small. He started coming home later than usual. Long hours at the firm, he said. Sometimes he wouldn't answer my calls, claiming he was in meetings. I told myself he was just stressed, working hard for our family. But deep down, I felt it. The distance growing like a silent storm. One night, I cooked his favorite dinner. I set the table, lit candles, wore the dress he loved, but he never showed. At midnight, he texted, "Sorry, babe, emergency case, don't wait up." I cried myself to sleep that night with one hand on my belly, whispering, "It's okay, baby. Mommy's got you." But the universe had a cruel way of showing me the truth. It was a Sunday afternoon. I was scrolling through social media when a notification popped up. A tagged photo of David at a rooftop bar. He wasn't alone. His arm was around a woman in a tight red dress, his lips grazing her ear. I froze. My hands shook so hard I almost dropped my phone. Then I clicked the profile. Her name was Vanessa, a 25-year-old paralegal at his firm. Picture after picture of them together. Fancy dinners, weekend getaways, holding hands. All while I was home growing his child. I felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. My heart shattered into pieces so sharp they could cut steel. I wanted to scream, break something, call him, and demand answers. But I didn't. Instead, I wiped my tears and made myself a promise. He will regret this, not by my tears, but by my strength. For the next few weeks, I played my part perfectly, smiling, acting like nothing was wrong, letting him believe he had me fooled. Then came the charity gala, the same event where we first met. David was attending as a guest speaker, and the room was full of Chicago's elite. I walked in wearing a floor-length sapphire gown, my baby bump wrapped in elegance, my confidence radiating like fire. When David saw me, his jaw dropped. He hadn't expected me to come. And when I walked up to the microphone before his speech, his face turned pale. I tapped the mic and said, "Good evening, everyone. My name is Alina Parker. I'm here tonight to thank the Parker family for teaching me one very important lesson: strength. Even when the man you love cheats on you while you're pregnant with his child." Gasps filled the room. Cameras flashed. David's face turned crimson. I handed him the divorce papers in front of everyone and said, "Here's your freedom, David. You'll need it for Vanessa." And then the final blow. Vanessa walked in, invited by me. She stood there, horrified, realizing the world now knew their dirty secret. As I walked out, heels clicking like thunder, David ran after me, dropping to his knees in the middle of the lobby, begging, "Alina, please don't do this. I'll change. I'll fix it." I turned around, looked him dead in the eyes, and said, "You should have thought about that when you had someone else in your bed while I carried your child, right?" And then I left without looking back. Today, I'm raising my beautiful baby girl in a peaceful home filled with love and strength, not because of David, but because of me. David, he lost everything: his reputation, his firm, his shiny image. And me, I built a life so good I don't even remember the pain anymore. The best revenge isn't destroying them, it's standing tall when they expected you to break. Subscribe to SilkMirror for more stories where heartbreak turns into power and betrayal meets poetic justice.